Welcome to The Late Show. Welcome to The Late Show, everybody. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Right now, in the UK, in the United Kingdom right now, it is about 4:35 a.m., which means Queen Elizabeth's funeral has almost ended. But after 70 years on the throne, she deserves a proper send-off. The ceremony began this morning with a service at Westminster Abbey and a British military escort through London to the Wellington Arch, with British subjects paying their respects as her casket passed by. A fitting tribute for a beloved monarch, but pretty embarrassing for whoever forgot to put the crown inside before they closed the lid. Don't dash it all! Don't just stick it on top. It's fine, it's fine. The procession was lengthy, with King Charles and siblings walking behind the coffin for nearly 1.5 hours. That's not easy. For years, the royal family's only form of exercise has been walking back statements from Andrew. The Queen's... Okay. Queen's Corgis were also there, and because of the short legs, they were all given funeral skateboards. Thousands of people gathered along the route to honor the late monarch, requiring 22 miles of barriers to be erected in central London alone. Of course, those in the city who wanted to know exactly where the procession was at any one moment along the route could just download the Domino's Monarch Tracker. Come on, they're taking a left at the Wellington Arch. That's gonna be 2 more stoplights. She better come with free garlic knots. The procession was led into the church by officer-in-arms with some pretty fancy titles, including, and these are all real, the Maltravers Herald Extraordinary, the Rouge Dragon Pursuivant, and the Lady Usher of the Black Rod. Lady Usher of the Black Rod, coincidentally, also the UK's #1 search on Pornhub. One interesting moment was when the Lord Chamberlain ceremonially broke the wand of office, signifying the end of the Queen's reign. So if I know my royal protocol, I believe King Charles now has to go pick out a new wand at Ollivanders in Diagon Alley before he can return to be headmaster of Hogwarts. In observance of the memorial, the UK government declared today an official holiday. Most movie theaters were also closed, but offered screenings of the Queen's funeral. I believe we have footage, is this true, of the moving opening remarks.
Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Of course, amen, Nicole. Of course, the Queen's funeral wasn't the only solemn observance today, September 19th. Also, International Talk Like a Pirate Day. So, with a heavy heart and the gravest of respects, I say, yar. She will be missed. She was a good lassie. Yar. Of course, a lot of world leaders attended the funeral. Eventually, they attended because, for one, Joe Biden was forced to wait for a seat after he arrived late. The president may have been delayed because before he left, he sat down for an interview with 60 Minutes zaddy Scott Pelley and made a stunning announcement.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over.
Which is it, Joe? We have trouble with COVID, or is the pandemic over? Lorraine, the affair is over. I still have sex with Bethany every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, but the affair is over. I gotta go, it's 5:45. I'll be right back. So what made Biden decide everything is all super chill now?
Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape. If you notice, no one's wearing masks.
Yeah, no one's wearing masks. Right, audience? Wasn't all business. Biden also gave Pele a little tour and showed him a favorite keepsake.
He showed us his other inspiration in a cartoon that his father had framed. In it, the Viking Hagar confronts God after a lightning strike, a blow like those endured by the president.
And he's looking up, and what's he say? He says, "Why me, God?" The next scene, a voice from heaven, "Why not?"
Whatever gets you through the night. It's a little weird. Of course, he's not the first president to draw inspiration from a Sunday comic. Who can forget the famous sign on Truman's desk? "The buck stops because I feel fat. Ack!" It's Kathy. It's Kathy. There was one notable moment in the interview. See, usually when it comes to the ongoing tensions between China and Taiwan, the United States maintains what's called strategic ambiguity, but Biden was tactically pretty clear.
What should Chinese President Xi know about your commitment to Taiwan?
We agree with what we signed on to a long time ago, and that there's a one China policy, and Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
So unlike Ukraine, to be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women, would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion?
Yes.
Okay, calm down, China. You know we buy all the iPhones you make, right? You want some more Transformers movies? We can make more Transformers movies, okay? We got Michael Bay chained in a basement, okay? We'll send you Shia LaBeouf. He's got some free time right now. Okay, just calm down. You don't want Taiwan. You don't want... There's an update about who might want to be the president next. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, seen here... Seen here watching your grandma fall into a ditch. Last week, wow, yeah. He has become famous. Last week, DeSantis made headlines for kidnapping 2 plane loads of migrants and then flying them to Martha's Vineyard. Well, it turns out it was way worse than we imagined because he actually abducted them from Texas. For a guy who acts so concerned about borders, he doesn't seem to know where his state ends. So why is the governor? Why, I say? Why? So why is the governor of Florida spending his taxpayers' money to snatch asylum seekers in Texas? Because he can read their minds.
Because most of them are intending to come to Florida.
Come on. Come on. No one intends to go to Florida. You go. You're forced to go there for 2 reasons, okay? You're about to die and want to eat pudding next to an alligator. Or you want to do that Disney thing where you can build your own lightsaber. They have 4 available hilt styles. DeSantis went on explaining that you can't ever know what asylum seekers might be thinking because cars?
If you want to do it effectively, you just can't police if you have 2 people in a car and there's 100 different cars that come in a different week because it looks like your car or anybody else.
Oh, I remember that one from the SAT. If 2 people are traveling in a car and there are hundreds of different cars, how big of an a-hole is Ron DeSantis? Gaping. Gaping. Mas grande. Lo más grande. We also learned more from the migrants themselves. According to their lawyer, DeSantis' people lied to them to lure them onto the planes.
Accounts from the migrants who arrived last night make it clear that they were lied to again and again. They were told there was a surprise present for them and that there would be jobs and housing awaiting for them when they arrived. This was obviously a sadistic lie.
Yes. Imagine being told that you're getting a surprise present And then when you land, someone hands you a bowl of chowder. It's clams and hot milk. It's sadistic. Call The Hague. According to the migrants themselves, they were approached at a McDonald's where a well-dressed woman who introduced herself as Perla handed them gift cards. Wait a second. These people were at a McDonald's and they love gift cards? They're already Americans. I'm pretty sure the citizenship test is just that and naming one football team. Like the New York Strong Boys. Or the Kansas City Balloons. Before boarding, the migrants were told they were going to Boston and were informed mid-air that they were actually going to land in Martha's Vineyard. DeSantis's Goons didn't do much to help them prepare, as their lawyer explained.
They were provided with a cartoonishly simple map of Martha's Vineyard and the United States.
Now, that doesn't seem like a very useful map, but they also gave them a poster of the Milky Way that said, "You are here." We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are blonde star Ana de Armas and Ken Burns.